Hello everybody, welcome to another Eternal Deck Tech. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Really want to give a big shout out to all the subs and patrons who make this possible, and of course to my sponsor, inkgaming.com. You can check them out down below. They've got a bunch of cool custom gear. And also, speaking of custom gear, we managed to get our first channel shirt up, so it's up on Amazon merch, and I've got it down below the video as well. But we're going to jump right on into the games here. So I have a deck for you today that I went back and decided I had a lot of fun with a bunch of different decks in the past. I really had a few of my decks that I've done before that were my pet decks. And a year on in, I'm going back. I wanted to jump back into some of these. I remade a couple recently on stream, and I remade this, which is Dark Greed. And this deck is still kind of awesome. It's just super fun to play. So it's essentially just like a Combrei good stuff deck with a little bit of shadow, just a sprinkling for some really powerful ramp stuff and for some removal. So you've got Mask of Torment, pretty obviously kind of my pet card, and Cull the deck to try and help you draw through things, slay to remove things, stuff like that. So that's really what you're looking for. Stonepowder, Alchemist to help with the mask. This deck really beats up on aggro because it is absolutely chock full of cards they hate. It's got Temple Scribes to like stop Oni Ronins, get you a little bit of life. It's got Desert Marshals to pop Aegises and silence good units. It's got Aurelian Merchant, which is the big butt. It's got Combrei Healer, which you don't really see anymore, but it's a great unit. It pops Aegis, and it gains you life, and it can be a really large blocker if you're not popping Aegis. It's just fantastic. Knight-Chancellor Siraf, Stonepowder Alchemist, Devoted Theurge. Like, this is a nightmare scenario for any kind of an aggro deck. It's such a hard thing to fight through. So we've got a lot of really cool things. But then we've got a lot of top end too. So we're trying to bait, essentially, with most mask decks, stabilize, gain a little bit of life, get some value, and then land a mask, and then continue to gain some life and start really going off. So we've got like the Desert Marshal and to buy us some time, but Temple Scribe and Combrei Healer and Stonepowder Alchemist are all going to turn on Mask of Torment and also buy us a lot of time. These cards are kind of annoying. Like we said, they can chump block certain things or just be good blockers in general, or take multiple removal spells to get rid of, or chump multiple times sometimes. So you get that. Devoted Theurge obviously works very well with Mask of Torment. If you've never seen it before, you can pay 6 to give Devoted Theurge +1/+1 and also gain 1 life. So if you have a mask out, or even 2 or 3, every single time you pay 6, you're also essentially playing a power. So it becomes pay 6 to get +1/+1 and play a power. And then if you have 2, play 2 power, 3 power. It gets really silly. So you can get some sick stuff with that. And I mean, as you can tell, you can go like on 12, gain a power. Next turn, you're at 14, gain a power. Next turn, oh, now you've got enough to go power, and you just start ramping it up more and more like that, and it just gets faster and faster. And you can get to obscenely large totals. And that's with only one mask. So we also have a bunch of the top end stuff, which is Knight-Chancellor Siraf, Marshal, Ironthorn, and Mystic Ascendant to take advantage of all this value we're getting off of Mask of Torment. So Mystic Ascendant essentially just guarantees that as we're doing all of this ramping, that our power cards aren't just blank, because a lot of the times we get up to, say, 18 power off of Mask of Torment, and then we start drawing power cards out of our deck like Sigils and Banners, and that's real bad for us because we don't have anything to do. But Mystic Ascendant kind of solves that. Marshal Ironthorn helps as well because you're able to double up on your power whenever you're doing it, so you'll help with Mystic Ascendant. Other cool thing about Marshal Ironthorn, I've done it more than once. Remember his ultimate, pay 15 to kill all enemy units. Many times have I just gone 5, ultimate, boom, pay 20 immediately, wipe your opponent's board, win the game. Knight-Chancellor Siraf, same kind of thing, pay 8 and exhaust it to get a big effect. And then, like we said, we've got like the Cull decks to draw things, Slays to buy us more time, killing off big units, and we've got Find the Way and Seek Power to make our power base a little bit better. And a last kind of big thing for us as like ramp payoff is Great Parliament. So you can be really far behind, have your opponent wipe your board, and suddenly you're looking and you're like, well, I have 20 power, but what am I going to do? Boom. Great Parliament off the top, and you can win the game almost immediately. Harsh Rule, obviously, just very, very nice way to reset the board state. We've got a lot of really big swingy effects. So if you get into a board stall, don't be afraid to use Harsh Rule. Like, hold back a Great Parliament, use Harsh Rule, boom, Great Parliament afterwards. You have the board all of a sudden and your opponent doesn't. We've got lots of those kinds of swings. And then we've got our power base, you know, lots of crests and banners and your typical things. We've got 4 Amber Waystones because we really want them to work with Mask of Torment. And then our market. We have a little bit of extra removal in Banish, and it also serves double purpose, obviously, as being able to kill an enemy relic. We have a second Mask of Torment, so we can pull it out easier with the Aurelian Merchant. Another Devoted Theurge, because if we have some masks and we've had the Devoted Theurge just die, or we just want to get one right away, then we've got it there. I put in Stronghold's Visage. I'm not 100% certain on this one. It's a little bit like a worse Devoted Theurge, but it's really, really fun when it can happen. You don't have to spend any power on it, which is kind of nice. So it just constantly ticks you up over and over and over and over once you have Mask of Torment. It's probably a little bit of a win more, but hey, this deck is called Dark Greed for a reason, right? We've got to be a little bit greedy. And then we have another Mystic Ascendant, just as a little bit of extra oomph, so we can draw it out. We don't want to have too many 6-drops in the main, but this helps us just be able to pull it out of the side when we're in a little bit of trouble. Throw away a power, get a Mystic Ascendant, boom, play another power, and you're back in the game. No longer flooding, you can start using all of that ramp that you've been getting up. Alright, so this is the deck. We're going to run it through some games and see how it does. I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I hope you do too.